Okay, what's up, everybody? I was asked to give my insight on another astrologer's video about the Cancer Pisces compatibility. Fernando Pruhome. So look up Fernando Pruhome, everybody, and check out his Cancer Pisces video. You know, it's very mystical that he would mention something about the depths of the water with these two, how something could just mysteriously disappear. Not too long ago, I did a Cancer Pisces video for Secret Houses, which is my podcast. If you don't know about it, go to benjaminbugs.net. That's benjaminbugs.net. Please read the fine print. So all my subscribers, I apologize if you did not get that video. I don't have it. I looked now, there's no link to it. So all of the rest of the advertisements and the products and everything else is there on the email blast, except for this video. And it's probably for a reason. Like, I probably left some things out. He said something about the cardinal sign. You know, there's a cardinal sign and there's a mutable sign, but they're both water signs and they're both feminine energy. Definitely get that. He said something about the cardinal carving the waterways, right? I like how he did that analogy. That is 100% correct. There's one small thing that I disagree with. I look at it differently, and that is he made one reference about the ocean floor, something like the open ocean belonging to Cancer. And I said, to me, I think it's different. I think the cardinal, like he said, the cardinal sign Cancer is like the action of the water, but Pisces is definitely the ocean. Pisces is the depths of the ocean, with the creatures of deep, which possess and create these treasures. We have all of these treasures. He made that clear too. He said we have these treasures, and Cancer has to figure out whether they're going to tap in to those treasures. So they're going to have to figure that out, right? But Cancer, to me, is more like the streams and the rivers, because that's the activity of water. It's going to lead. Streams and rivers, they lead. They run to somewhere. They run to the ocean. And the ocean really like sits still for the most part. And, you know, it rocks back and forth. But even those big crash waves and the hurricanes that lift over the water, you can attribute that to the Cancer energy. Now, he made a reference about Pisces belonging to the fantasy side of things and Cancer belonging to the realistic side of things. Very true. So in order for this to work, they have to combine that. That's what they have to mesh. He was talking about meshing and not meshing. This is what they have to mesh. And it must be understood on both ends. Pisces must understand that what Cancer needs. And as he said, which is another thing that is true, Cancer puts that out there, what her needs are, right? She makes that evident, or he makes that evident, right? And it really pertains to, as I said, the physical things of the world, the realistic, what people call reality-based, right? The tangible things of the world. So Pisces needs to know that when he's creating those treasures, that the fruits of those treasures will be able to pertain to those comforts, which entails finance, which entails emotion. At the same time, the Cancer has to know that Pisces more than likely has played that position before. So that fantasy is going to have to become part of Cancer's reality. I'm going to say this, the way me and this Cancer woman met, it was instant. Like, I didn't even know where she came from, but she came. So he also mentioned about it being fated for the Cancer, being fate, the union, right? And for it being karmic for the Pisces. I agree with that as well, because to me, it feels like I'm actually earning this Cancer woman. Like, I feel deserving of her for probably reasons that I can't fully describe yet. However, that's how I see it. For her to be aligned with me somehow, I really do believe that it had to be like fate or something, because I have no other way to explain it. What he said, right, is like these two will be able to understand each other from far out, like from long distance range. And it's because of the sharp intuition that both of them possess. They both are psychic, right? This is 100% true. This is very true, because he also made a reference that, you know, Cancers are not going to let you in immediately. Like, they're not. Like, they can be very distant and be in that shell, and you won't know what's going on with them unless you're a Pisces. The reason why I say this is because I have several dreams about this woman. Several. So everything that she's keeping from me, which is partially probably intentionally, I figure it out anyway in my dreams. I know exactly what it is. So he also said that you have to be honest with this union, because they will know from yards out exactly what's going on with each other. It's true. Now, he also made a reference that Pisces must not get lost in, trying to, in Cancer's distance. Do not get lost in Cancer's distance. So this is where the Pisces is going to have to speak up. I absolutely believe that is true too. I can attest to that. So once I'm just like, well, you know what? Enough of the reading minds thing. Like, it's kind of draining me. Like, I need to know actually something that's concrete and tangible, like right now. And the other methods that I was using to contact this woman were not working anymore. All right. So this is where I said to myself, okay, well, I'm going to do this now. And I'm going to use this type of tone when I address her as well. You know what I'm saying? Because as he said, Cancers can be testy. And sometimes it's a passive test. You understand what I'm saying? Because one moment they can show this interest in you, and that's in the beginning. Like he said, like we clicked in the beginning. So that interest, if it fades, Pisces is going to want to know what that's about. Y'all already know that. We're going to want to know what that's about, right? And if we can't reach you like we want to reach you, and we're tired of guessing, yes, Pisces, you need to speak up, because you're going to get lost in your fantasy of what could be or what might be. And if you don't get this particular answer from her, this is when you know that you can possibly cause some damage to yourself. What Pisces needs from a Cancer woman, regardless, is for her to take a leadership role and do it. Like, it may not be to the lengths or to the depths that, she may think that it needs to be done, because Cancers are leaders. Like, they will go all out above and beyond to make a statement and get the money and stuff like that. They will. But I think if they learn how to take leadership positions according to what Pisces fantasy is, and like some type of career form, I think it's going to be great. I'm going to talk about that more in my video though. They come from complicated lives. This is also true. Like, this is so accurate. Like, we both come from complicated lives. We understand pain so much. Like, we're susceptible to devastation from being devastated from pain. That is true. Whether we show it to others or not, we feel intense blows of pain because we've been through so much. So that is a way that these two make sure that they don't hurt each other, because they definitely both know what pain is. Say Cancer would show the most resistance in this type of union. I would say so, yeah, because Pisces will put themselves out on the line, and Cancer is they will use that move sideways technique. Like I said this once before about water signs, how we're kind of like suckers for power. So Cancer moves sideways. They're gonna watch the Pisces, who's pretty much more daring, before they really put their foot out there or put their neck out there to say, okay, yeah, I'm with it now. They want to see how powerful the Pisces becomes in their pursuit, how persuading the Pisces is going to become in their pursuits, how, even what type of industry, like what type of approach, what type of audience. Cancer's going to want to know all of that before they get involved, so they know how to get involved. Decadents do matter though, because I can say for myself, like I have a Cancer decadent, so I can also be distant and like not communicate, and this can make things either sour or delay. I would say delay though, because we have this intuition that's so sharp, and we're older. Like you said, if you're mature, then it'll probably work, and it will work better. And I agree. A delay is like we get better as we get older. This is what we believe, Cancer and Pisces, you know what I mean? So we're not really tripping if it's not happening immediately. You know what I mean? So again, depends on your decadence, because I could play the slow game too. Still though, Pisces is going to put their neck out there before the Cancer does. To be more extensive on that, Pisces needs to speak when spoken to. He mentioned something about don't think you're going to enter the Cancer's life and like start telling them what to do if they didn't ask. You understand what I'm saying? If they didn't hint to that, if they didn't cue for you to come do that, don't do that. Don't intrude, because they will go right back in their shell. Both kind of, that soft core inside. You know what I mean? So, and Pisces doesn't even have a shell. So it's just like, all right, I'm going to get bruised. I'm going to get bruised. Like, I'm used to this. You know what I'm saying? In the Cancer, they got the shell, but you don't want to go in there and do that. I agree. But it's a strategy. It's all part of a strategy. It's a water sign thing. Who's going to lead? Again, once again, Pisces, you create the treasures of the deep. People really don't know how far they can go in life when they take a Pisces creation and run with it. That's what Pisces are here for. So I would say Pisces create, Cancer find a way to lead with Pisces creation, make sure that it meshes reality. The fruits of it become reality-based for the Cancer's needs, and the fantasy gets fulfilled through the implementation. And then the Pisces will marvel at it, and of course, benefit from it as well, right? It's their creation, so they better. Sex magic, I don't know, you know what I mean? I know this is like, I heard, I don't want to, how can I say this? Like, I don't want to get fucked into oblivion by a Cancer woman. I always hear about the sex. You know what I'm saying? I don't want it to blind me though. You know what I'm saying? And at the same time, who knows? Like, okay. So now that's what I got to say about that. So I would say, from my perspective, from viewing this video, I'd say he's 98% accurate about the things that he said. Well, I'll say 95% because, as I said, I don't know anything about the sex or the sex magic. And he was like, ooh, oh, like that's how it would feel and stuff like that. Like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? At the same time, what was I saying? Shit. This is what I want to add on, right? I want to say to look more at this union as Cancer being the major arc to the universe, not just to the, the arcs that you see built on land, the covenants and all that. Not just that. I'm talking about the arc of the universe. Like, their sign is at 22 degrees. 12 noon is when the sun is at the highest point. That's when it's in the constellation of Cancer. I want you to look at it like this. So, because Pisces does have the tendency to, when they fantasize, put who they're fantasizing about on a pedestal. So this would be a great opportunity to implement that whole structure and make it a reality-based thing that derives from a fantasy, and it would make the whole universe being, all right? Because this is where the Cancer can take the leadership role, and it would be known, it would be so prominent that it would be held so high as where their sign is held out in the zodiac. And keep in mind that Pisces is the 12th sign. Pisces is the completion. So Pisces is, like I said, Pisces is more like still waters, but a creature moving all throughout those still waters constantly. The same way dolphins, whales, and all types of aquatic mammals do. This is what Pisces does. So a lot of knowledge comes from that very quickly at the same time, all right? And keep this in mind that, Cancers, they're the money signs, right? They're the money signs. And they can also be kind of reckless. And I put this on the moon because the moon rules Cancer and stuff like that, right? So I always say, like, sometimes, and this is what he also said, that you can't take her emotions too seriously because even she doesn't know what they're totally about. And that's true. That's true. I've seen it happen. And I'm like, yo, but like what you said and how you said it, how that sounded, like how that, you know what I'm saying? Like, and they be like, oh, I didn't see it. I didn't know it like that. I didn't see it like that. They don't. And it's like a real Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde thing that goes on with the moon because the moon travels about around the earth, which he also mentioned how the moon is dependent on the earth, vice versa. And then, the moon travels the quickest. So it's like these fluctuations of feeling. The moon deals with fluctuations all around. So I get that. Not saying that that's an excuse for them to wild out or whatever the case may be, right? And get crazy emotional, but I'm just saying I understand it. You know what I'm saying? As long as the Pisces understands that, y'all cool, y'all good. When being active, Cancer, take that leadership role. Be 12 o'clock, high noon. Know that that's your role, though. Know that that's your role. If you don't know it, find out from the Pisces, man. Reach out. Cancers are real smart. They'll wait to see Pisces make the opening or make it there so that they can fill that position. Because Pisces are good at that, setting things up, creating things and setting things. You should hop into your avatar. Let's update each other's repertoire. As above, as below, I hop into her avatar. She has above average, bra, organized manager. T's Madagascar. See my drive, they reply fast as a NASCAR. TV plasma, queen since a teen, give me keys to your Jaguar. Oh, I'ma hop into my avatar. You should hop into your avatar. Let's update each other's repertoire. As above, as below, I hop into her avatar. She has above average, bro. Hop into that avatar. T's Madagascar. See my drive, they reply fast as a NASCAR. Caged in my cage for days and on that. She raises our refrain, jealous of Mary Jane, cause my aim is a mouth. No smoke in my face, don't play that in my house, so obey.